Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Just a reminder, I still have a bit of a cold, so if I cough every once in a while. So welcome to Retro Rewind, a show that looks back at old TV shows and episodes, and we get a bit of nostalgia. Not much nostalgia with this, except for the show. We are looking at the Hey Arnold. The episode, of course, is The Journal, which was the official series finale of the show. And I watched the 45-minute version on Paramount Plus. I have the DVDs, of course, but I don't think that's the 45-minute version. I wanted to get the whole 45-minute version. So yeah. So before I get into the episode, I'm just going to explain Hey Arnold a little bit. So Hey Arnold is about this kid named Arnold, his grandparents, his boarding house where there's other boarding people, and his best friend's name is Gerald. There's a bully character who was also sort of his friend named Harold. They have two other friends named Sid and Stinky. Yes, that is his name. And there's also Helga, who is sort of a rival for Arnold, but she has a secret crush. Her best friend is Phoebe, and there's another character named Rhonda, and there's other characters too. And they live in New York City. And basically, it's the goings-on of what they do in New York City. Sometimes there's weird things, like when Arnold and Gerald got stuck downtown dressed as a banana and a strawberry. And some other things. It is what it is. None of those characters really matter because this episode, The Journal, the series finale of the show, is essentially a bottle episode, really. As it entails 10 years have passed since Arnold's parents left him, and he's kind of feeling sad. He misses them, and he's ready to give up everything. He takes everything up there. He's gonna put it away, including the hat they gave him, until he and his grandpa find a journal. So it's weird watching this. I had never seen this before. I've seen the Hey Arnold Jungle movie and Hey Arnold movie, which, according to Wikipedia, came up before this. I guess it came up before the finale, which it does take place before the finale, but originally the theatrical movie was going to be this one. Didn't get around to it until 2017. It took long enough. But yeah. But yeah, so, going in, knowing what happens in the Jungle movie, there's I guess, some of the stuff that's going to happen. Of course, you know how the story's going to end. They're going to leave. But it's getting there. And there's also, they kind of pepper this with little funny interstitial things because they think that maybe some kids might not be too into it. So there's bathroom breaks. Quite literally, the grandpa's reading the journal, and every once in a while, he'll take a bathroom break. Oop, I gotta take a whiz. And he runs off. Or in the middle of the story, the grandma will say something goofy. Like, what was it? Something about when Arnold is born and they're brought to him, and there's something about, she says something goofy, and he's like, I got the duct tape, I promise you, or something like that. And it's funny. But yeah. She's like upside down in the doorway, and the grandpa uses her as a door. He opens her and shuts her. It's funny. They kind of put some comedy in between. Arnold's friends are shown only once at the beginning of the episode, where he's sitting on the stoop, kind of, sulking, and everyone wants to go to Dino Land, but Arnold says, no, I'm not going to do it. But Gerald, the good friend that he is, that's Gerald right there. Good friend that he is. I got Gerald right over there, actually. I got Arnold, Gerald, and Abner over there. We get an origin story for Abner in this too, which is pretty cool. But as a good friend, like, hey Arnold, are you all right? He said, yeah, I'm fine, Gerald. Okay, you sure you don't want to come? No, I'm fine. So that's all you see of them, really, sort of. And then we do that Helga's unrequited love thing. She's not in a taxi cab, and she's like, and the taxi cab moves, and she falls into the puddle, and then just like takes off. No questions asked here. Then they find a journal, and the rest of the episode is just going back and finding out what happened. His dad is a doofus. His dad, Miles. I know the last name. They don't say it here, and I'm not gonna mention it until I review the Jungle movie. Before I continue, I should mention, I was supposed to review this. You remember thinking, Scotty, aren't you doing it Nickelodeon stuff next month? Yes, I am. But I was going to review this in there. When I put together all the stuff I'm going to do, there was too many. So I had to take this out, the journal out, so I could focus on the rest of the stuff, which, I've taken out some stuff, added some stuff. You aren't in here anymore. Yeah. And you SpongeBob fans, not doing any SpongeBob. Sorry. Had to take it out. Found some other stuff I want to do. So, sorry, SpongeBob fans. But anyway, so, like I said, Arnold's dad, Miles, he's a bit of a klutz, and he basically falls down right in front of her, and they're both in San Lorenzo in Brazil, and he's there with Eduardo. He's following Eduardo. He falls. Eventually they flirt, and they become sort of a couple adventuring around San Lorenzo. I don't know if San Lorenzo is an actual place or fictional. It's a nice name though. They bring up La Sombra, who will have a prominent role in the Jungle movie. They thwart him and steal the Corazon, something else that will also be in the Jungle movie, which I'm confused about something. Maybe they explain it. I don't know. Because they have the Corazon, they give it to the green-eyed people, which they talk about and will also be in a Jungle movie. The Green Eyes, as they call them. It does get a little bit racy, because there's a moment, I guess Miles wrote about his honeymoon night, and Arnold's grandpa was like, oh, hey, you know what, why don't you get some Chinese food? Chinese food? Yeah, but we just ate all those sandwiches. Yeah, no, I'm still hungry. Oh, by the way, she made peanut butter and fish sandwiches, the grandma. Peanut butter and scrod, which is a fish. So peanut butter and fish. Doesn't that just sound delicious? Peanut butter and fish. You mean he's like Pookie. Like, yes, mysterious green eyes. Just like the mystery of what's in these sandwiches. Pookie, what did you make these sandwiches out of? Peanut butter and scrod. Blech. I don't want Arnold's grandma to make me sandwiches. Saying. Yeah. So they fall in love, and they're basically, and they have the wedding. What I like is he's reading the journal, and he's like, and then I asked her to marry me, and she said yes, right? Nope. She said no, thank you. The end. Goodbye, Grandpa. I'm joking. Of course she said yes. Of course that's, and there is some times in this where you see the tension. Like, there are several times to show pointy rocks in the water before they fall down. There's a couple times to do that, actually. When they land, there's just water. I don't know. A couple times that happen. They fall off a waterfall, trying to get away from La Sombra, I think. Yeah. And uh, so they get married, and the grandma and grandpa are there, and it looks just like they do now, or in present time when they're telling the story. Shouldn't they be younger? Arnold wasn't even born yet. They shouldn't have gray hairs. But I'm telling you, before they even introduced it, I figured out that the Miles was their son, because they got the butt chin things going on. So yeah. I don't know how Arnold got the football head, but okay. Be hell to push out. And then she finds out she's pregnant later. And they actually, this wasn't the first time that there was a pregnancy on a kid show on Nickelodeon. That was Rugrats. Rugrats actually did that back in '98 when they set up the Rugrats movie, which I'll talk about in Nickelodeon. But yeah. And I like how they kind of related it to kids a little bit, because as she starts having the contractions and get ready to give birth, a volcano erupts. And so they kind of compare giving birth to the eruption of a volcano. And when she's finally done giving birth, the volcano stops. And they say it was a miracle that they can never explain. Which, okay, I get what you're doing. I get what you're doing. But then, when they try to get Arnold to go to sleep, they fall asleep, and he crawls off and goes towards a snake at the. And I did that. I'm like, of course he survived. Duh, he's there. And they decide they're gonna move back to New York City. One thing I about to mention, is something that's prevalent for the Jungle movie. The Green Eyes come to them about a sleeping disease, and it is the mom who creates a cure that cures them temporarily. Of course, we know because of. And I was confused. I was like, wait a minute, she's doing the cure now, but they're not cured because the movie will get there. So they go back to New York City. They're living in a boarding house. We see younger 1-year-old versions of Gerald, Harold, Stinky, Sid, Rhonda, Eugene, who of course falls off the little, he's on one of those little horses that that's at a park that's in the sand. You go like this, and he's on there. I'm like, oh, he's little Eugene. He's gonna fall off, isn't he? Sure enough. And the dad goes, "Are you okay?" It's just Eugene can't talk yet because he's 1 year old. I'm okay. That's usually what he said. Are you okay? So of course, yeah, you gotta play that. He falls off. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see little 1-year-old versions. But then Arnold runs off again onto a slide. It's the most ridiculous slide ever. He's at the top. He goes backwards. Like goes all the way up and lands in a mud puddle. I think he'd still get hurt, but he's like, and then shortly after this, they're called back to San Lorenzo to save the Green Eyes again, because the sleeping disease is back at its worst. So Eduardo comes to get them. Eduardo's the friend I mentioned him before. Go back to San Lorenzo, and they say it's going to be quick, but of course we know they don't come back. And we don't know why they don't come back. Well, at least at this point, we don't know. Yeah. So Arnold goes on the stoop to kind of look over the book, and he finds that there's 2 pages stuck together, which reveals a map, which was supposed to set up the Jungle movie, which was supposed to be a theatrical film, but instead, we got this thing, which is sort of kind of just like Recess, School's Out. If you really think about it, it's very similar. But I will be talking about this and this in Nickelodeon month, so be ready for those. But yeah, overall, I thought this was really good and ended. I've heard some people cried. I didn't really cry, but I understand for those who do. It's a very sad, episode. You feel for Arnold. By the way, like I said, they don't. If you're wondering, there's a wedding scene. Well, how do they get around the name? Well, because when they say, "I pronounce you Mr. and Mrs." the grandma burps in the real, in the and the wraparound, the grandma burps, and then he's like, Pookie, and then they just go back to the story without continuing that sentence because they weren't ready to reveal the last name, which they do in the Jungle movie. So I won't talk about that until the Jungle movie. But yeah, overall, I thought this was really good. Good episode. Some people say it's the best episode. I haven't seen all the episodes, so I can't really say it. But I think it was a great episode. So yeah, my voice is going out. Sorry, I have a cold. Trying. I've got, with this video it's now coming out on a Thursday. I have videos all the way up to Friday. So hopefully I can get better by Friday and start recording other stuff. I wanted to get all the week's videos out. So you got, know this. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the journal from Hey Arnold? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.